Yeah, this is a look I can get down with. Let's talk about a comic company that's not Marvel or DC. Dark Horse, who made a lot of weird comics. We'll look at some of their stuff down the line, but they made stuff like parodies, licensed stuff. In fact, they commissioned a bunch of Alien novels, and they even have an Alien vs. Predator novel, which I have right here, Alien vs. Predator Prey. Surprisingly, it's actually really good, and actually gives you perspective on the Predator, where you get their point of view, which is an interesting twist on things that hasn't really been done before. But today we're talking about one of their not good comics, Will to Power, which the title doesn't even, I mean, too wordy. I guess it makes sense, but he's a Superman knockoff fighting a Doomsday knockoff with his own Hush knockoff, which is really weird because Hush is a Batman villain. So if you're gonna do rip-offs of other characters, at least make them make sense. But let's get into a comic that I really don't like. Although I should be reviewing the first issue, but it doesn't matter. Like, there's not really anything that needs to be filled in as far as I can tell with the first issue. This cover may have action going on, it's not just people standing around, but it still doesn't really tell you much except for this Superman knockoff is gonna fight a Doomsday ripoff who's all red. It's kind of boring, even though there's a punch going on. And I'm not a big fan of, I guess Will to Power is probably the guy's name, costume. It's just not that interesting.
To me, he was the biggest, strongest man in the world.
Yeah, I had the same reaction to Mr. T. He is a man of pure badassery.
But it was the uniform that fascinated me. I dreamt of the day when I'd have my own.
I didn't have to wait very long, it seemed. Man, the draft is just taking him in younger and younger every day.
However, the man he looks up to is kind of a dick. Get that off!
You can't wear my army uniform, that'll mess up my cosplay for SAC Anime.
He hated me for being different. In his mind, I was better than he was.
I also like saying sentences that need commas in them but don't have commas in them. It makes me feel smart. Seriously, no comma. In his mind, comma, I was better than he was. It's not that hard.
Get out! And so the pain began.
Child abuse. Wasn't this supposed to be a Superman ripoff? Can't we at least have the lighthearted nature of Superman?
Suddenly, a politician gets a grenade thrown at him. That was very sudden. And Will to Power shows up, also very suddenly, grabs the grenade, and explodes it in his hand. And we get a nice shot of dad ass.
See, if you're gonna do cheesecake fan service, at least make it equal opportunity.
I can't hear a damn thing. Can you hear me? Am I screaming? I can't hear a thing.
Don't worry, I have the same reaction while listening to rock music. Yeah, that's right, I don't like rock music. Come at me, come on, I'll fight you to the death. I'll take you all on.
Not Superman flies up to see who threw the grenade.
Don't let that jerk get away. That meanie, he threw a grenade at me and called me names and said my mom was fat.
Seriously, jerk? Why not something else besides jerk?
Bizarro's really creepy eyes see the guy who threw the grenade and he flies after him. And oh boy, just take a look at that costume. This is the Hush knockoff I was talking about, who wears bandages all across his body and a trench coat, but unlike Hush, he doesn't have a good reason to. He just does it. I'd say to hide his identity, but why bandages? And why orange bandages? Why not something more intimidating, like, I don't know, just not orange? Hey, I've seen you in the papers. I always count to 10 when I see someone fly. 1, 2...
Considering that I know that the bad Superman cosplayer here has super speed, yeah, I would not give him such a gracious amount of time to come over there and snap your neck.
Yeah, well, you're pretty famous yourself, X. And I always get angry when someone throws a grenade at me. I'm here to stop that from happening again. 5, 6...
Why hasn't William here just thrown the guy off the building yet? He's still counting. Just catch him, show a power play or something, distract him, punch him, knock him out, do something besides just talking about, oh, you're pretty famous yourself, X. What kind of a supervillain name is X, anyways? Unless you're gonna be Red X from the Teen Titans, who was cool. Yeah, it's just a lame name.
But considering the fact this guy's just a lame Hush knockoff and then what he's wearing and what he does next, yeah, I don't accept smarts from this kind of guy. 9, 10. Think you scare me with that flying and that cape? I don't care if you do work for the phone company.
What?
I don't go anywhere with strangers. Our villain, ladies and gentlemen, a 3-year-old. And just, that pose looks uncomfortable. I mean, I guess he's trying to jump on his shoulders given by this, but also he just slaps the super strong, invincible flying man, but this comic is just stupid. The briefing made it sound like he'd be a bit more dangerous.
Whoever made that briefing was an idiot.
And then, an air vent talks to him. I see your behavior as a cry for help. Who asked you? Ow, you stupid air vent.
You know, a week ago, I read a comic about a Canadian team of superheroes fighting a giant monster made of the land itself. And this is where What?
After this lovely image of X's face, the air vent keeps mocking him. That's it. You got him on the ropes, champ. Can't stop it.
Can't stop from doing what? Acting like a 40-year-old dad and calling you champ? I mean, it's a bit weird that an air vent's talking to you and complimenting your ability to... I need to watch something more logical for like a couple seconds. I can officially say I have found something that makes less sense than Indiana Jones 4. And that movie had aliens in it. Let's continue with our little expedition.
Apparently what's actually happening is that X was able to like revitalize old childhood trauma about his dad, who was very abusive to him. And he starts calling out to his dad that isn't really there that he's sorry. All the while X is quite comedically laughing to the camera. This is a comic book and he's managing to ham it up. And then, boom, he shows off his awesome karate skills. I'd say that it's just bad art, except for the fact that the sound effect, aye, makes it even more obvious that this guy's just doing his karate to will to power, who is, I can't tell where this is supposed to be from, but, you know, not having a good time. Also, his name is Titan, not Will. You know what? If this comic gets the right to be nonsensical, then this review is going to be nonsensical. I'm eating a hot dog now. Where did it come from? Who knows, but I'm eating it. Let's move on. I'm just going to keep eating this while I talk.
Apparently, Tiny Whitey flies off in a fit of rage and, everything just goes black, I guess. According to this, it looks like he threw him, but I know X doesn't have that kind of strength. Also, he just has random tools on his belt. And they were in none of the other shots, so yeah. But now he's knocked out while in the sky, which is probably my assumption that he didn't actually get knocked out in the sky, he just died.
Okay, so the comic's not really over. He just woke up somewhere else, and his vision goes all staticky. Quite a fall. Anything broken? I can call an ambulance.
Actually, I'm in incredible amounts of pain, Red X from the Teen Titans. If you could, please call me. Whoa. Did you just accuse me of being a ripoff of another character? You know what? Screw you. I'm taking my original design elsewhere.
So Titan, in the most uncomfortable pose ever, is told that he's in Arcadia. And apparently this guy must be X, who actually has more deserving of that namesake, considering he has a giant X over his face, and is doing the Escher Girls pose. Nice that he can pull that off without breaking his spine. So Will decides to go after him.
Hello? Is anyone down there?
This must be X. Who is that other guy?
Hey guys, I'm not Red X from the Teen Titans, and I'm here to form the secret society of supervillains. Who wants to join?
I'm just a doomsday ripoff. I don't have a life. I don't think there's any place for me here.
Nonsense. I have an extreme bias for red. Because your scales are red, you're allowed in. What about me and my kung fu grip? Well, the scotch tape that covers your body is red enough, so yeah, we can form together to become a team and fight our ultimate enemy. A guy in red.
There's too much red in our lives. I think we're living in a Virtual Boy game.
Hey, I watched a Daredevil XXX parody, and you know what? We're doing this. I love the color red now. It's also where I got the inspiration for my costume.
Okay, I spent a lot of time on that skit, mostly distracted from the boring comic, so let's skim through a little bit. Will to Power goes up to Bondage Man and sees him banging on a pipe for some reason. I know there is a reason, but it's still a little bit weird when you first see it. He goes up and looks like he's about to strangle him, but he doesn't, and just asks what the hell he's doing. Very funny?
Arr, mateys, rent me out for your next birthday party or whatever. I mean, of all the monster sound effects, arr is your choice? Jesus Christ, this thing's not intimidating in the slightest.
See? He likes you.
No, I don't like Will, Baka. I'm gonna go sharpen the spikes on my shoulder pads.
So as Will brings the fight topside to the civilians, like all great superheroes do, I notice a little bit of an art fail. See, in this shot, the spikes are pointing upwards, but in the next shot, they're still pointing upwards, but in the opposite direction. Also, biting, that's just fighting dirty. I also noticed that this monster has just regular teeth. They're not creepy, they're not intimidating, it's just stupid. This monster's design is really dumb. Another shot of Will's manly ass, as this fight is ended rather quickly. He's thrown into that building, and then he comes out unscathed, and so he's like, if throwing him into a giant building did nothing, why don't I fly him out into the middle of the ocean and just drop him? It's totally not like he can swim or anything. Even asked him, can you swim? And his response is, I can't remember if I can swim. Let me think about it. Can I swim? Oh, look, I'm falling. And we get this lovely shot of X, I guess? Okay, I guess there's 2 X's in this comic. No. Yeah, apparently whenever he counts, he gets weird aneurysms or something. And then he falls into his gaping maw. And then he falls into water. So I guess this is hallucinatory. I can't tell what's real or not. Maybe this guy has growing powers. Who knows? And up next, they tell us, The Scream versus Titan. And unfortunately, this black and white image was drawn over by whoever owned this comic before me. The Scream? What kind of a code name is that? If his whole gimmick is that he counts and people get mental attacks, why not call him Countdown or something? Whatever, just another illogical step in this comic. And Will to Power definitely sucks. Where am I getting all these hot dogs from? But anyways, the point is, Will to Power #2 is a terrible comic. It makes no sense. The main characters are ripoffs. You know, all the characters are ripoffs. We got a Doomsday ripoff, we got a Red X ripoff, we got a Hush ripoff, and we have a Superman ripoff as the title character. It is just not a good comic. It's confusing. There's talking air vents. It's entertaining if you want to laugh at it with your friends, but you could laugh at a bad movie, and at least you get like an hour or so of entertainment. With this, you get like 10 minutes of bad art, confusing plot, and it's just overall not a good comic. I liked Dark Horse because they had some original ideas going for them. Will to Power was not one of those original ideas. Ugh, tastes like air vent.